much pressure is on Kyler now that he has DeAndre Hopkins and A.J. Green?
Well, Skip, they've added pieces around him. They've given him the A.J. Green, obviously, they traded for DeAndre Hopkins last year. Christian Kirk is back. I think Fitz is still in the fold. And then they go out and get J.J. Watt to shore up the defense, put him opposite of Chandler Jones. They draft Zaven Collins in the first round. Isaiah Simmons comes back to lead that defense. Yep. They do lose Pat Peterson, but Buda Baker is still there. So, Skip, I think the thing is what added pressure to Kyler Murray is what we saw happen with Patrick Mahomes. His second year, what did he do, Skip? He won the MVP. His third year, what did he do, Skip? Got to, won the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson, what did he do in his second year, Skip? Won the MVP. What did he do his third year, Skip? Got to and won a playoff game. So I think the thing is that's what's adding the pressure. But there is, considering the division that he's in, I believe it's the best in football. When you look at the Rams, when you look at the Seattle, when you look at San Francisco, and what these teams represent. 49ers have been to the Super Bowl just 2 years ago. The Rams and Seattle both made the playoffs last year. Our perennial playoff teams. The Rams went to the Super Bowl just 3 years ago, 4 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So, Skip, there's a lot of pressure. He's the #1 overall draft pick, but there's also pressure on his head coach because he's the guy that, hey, this is his system, Kyler Murray, when he ran it at Oklahoma and yada, yada, yada. But there is some pressure on him because of what two of the guys, the quarterbacks, have done before him at the very similar age. Got to a Super Bowl, won playoff games, won MVPs. So, yes, there is pressure on Kyler Murray.
I agree with your overall assessment, and I'm going to leap to these conclusions. This team is going to have a big year. I picked them to be in the playoffs last year, and they got to 6-3 thanks to the Hail Murray, as you remember.
Yeah, against Buffalo.
And then Kyler, who's not the biggest man on the planet, got beat up. And he started to struggle, and they started to struggle. And they went 2-5 down the stretch and finished 8-8 and did not make the playoffs.
At one point in time, Skip, they were leading the division. And that was my concern. When you and I were discussing him coming out, I said, Skip, he's a small man. Can he take that kind of pounding?
Put together, but he's a small man.
Yeah, but Skip, when they 5'10" and they constantly fall on you, them 300 pounds, they hurt.
I still believe he's a special competitor.
Oh, yes,
and a
absolutely.
Special late-game clutch playmaker. I believe in him.
Because, Skip, remember how he got hurt? The guy fell on him. That was it. It wasn't the guy didn't drive him into the ground. He just fell on him.
I know you were skeptical about how much A.J. has got left in the tank. I think there's enough at age 33 that he can be that difference maker across from DeAndre with Christian Kirk in the slot. Now you have some true, proven firepower.
Yes.
And I do think teams are going to have a hard time figuring out both of them.
They're going to have to protect him, though, Skip.
Okay, you got to protect him. But as long as he can run a little bit to complement, to keep you honest and get down and slide, he can hurt you because he is a lightning bolt.
Oh, he quick.
He is super quick.
Cat quick.
Cat quick. So, again, I like this situation. I like where he is in his career. I watched an ESPN interview with him last night, late this morning, and he's a very mature young man, and he is driven to show you. So he's just got to stay healthier.
Playoffs or no?
Yes.
Okay, guys, listen to what I'm about to say is Terrell Owens about to
is coming. Again, I have been covering this game longer than you played it. I can't tell you how many summer days I have spent on practice fields watching endless camp practices. Back in the day when there was no limit on them, where they could just run you in the ground in the
Camp
heat.
like 6-8 weeks.
It was ridiculous. And I go back to Chuck Knox's Rams, who were training down in Fullerton back in the 70s. I would stay down there in the camp dorms to cover them, and then segue to Tom Landry and Jimmy Johnson's Cowboys out in Thousand Oaks, California. I'd stay in the dorms where the players were living. I'd stay there for weeks just living in the dorm, so I would go out to every practice and watch them because they were all open. I cannot even begin to count. I don't have enough fingers to count how many fights I saw because they were usually intramural fights on your own team. Because it just gets so hot out there and it's going on so long, and you're doing 2-a-days. You're not just doing single practices, you're doing it in the morning and in the afternoon.
And pads.
It was grueling, man, because you'd have to be out there, what time would it start? Like 9-ish maybe? And you'd go 9 to 11, and then you'd take everything back off, and you'd take a shower, and you'd go to the mess hall, and you'd sit and you'd eat lunch, and then you'd go and take maybe a quick nap, maybe. Right?
Because we're back on the field at 3.
Because by 2 o'clock, you better be up and ready and go get taped a second time.
Yep.
You got to go get taped a second time to go out in the late day heat, which is worse than the morning
A lot
heat.
of guys kept trying to get that little extra time of sleeping. They would get taped after they showered. They would get taped before they went to eat, so they could so they wouldn't have to get back up and come back and get taped earlier.
Trust me, you know this. It was really hard on the body.
Yeah.
It was endlessly long, and so you're just irritable at best.
Right.
And even if a teammate pushes or shoves you, or it's defense versus offense, and obviously the quarterback is wearing a Target jersey, which is a red color, a yellow color, whatever it was.
It's automatic fight. You hit the quarterback, it's automatic fight.
It's just going to be a fight.
Automatic fight.
Yeah.
If our own team hit the quarterback, if your team hit our quarterback in the joint practice, yeah, it's on.
Okay, what did we see the other night in Hard Knocks episode 2? We saw the kid from Ivory Coast. He was getting a little amped up during a practice, and he hit the Cowboys. I forget who it was. Danucci. He hit Danucci with his hand as he ran by, and boy, right away, they read him the riot act. You cannot do that.
Don't even get close to him.
Okay, I got it. Didn't start a fight, but you can't go there.
No.
Okay, so this is a joint practice, and usually when you had any kind of joint practice, which they've had for years because the Raiders used to come to Thousand Oaks to go at it with the Cowboys, and it was fight city. It'd just be every practice would end in a fight. Every coach I've ever known, all the coordinators, all the assistants, and I spent hundreds of hours around all of them, they love this. They would quietly say, that's great, because it was always a good sign that they were in fighting shape.
Yeah.
And it was a good sign.
The intensity is there.
Yes, that they wanted to fight each other, so, we can't wait for opening day because they're going to want to fight the opposition.
Especially, this is when you know you're going to get in a fight, Skip. If the coach turned the tape on and said, son, what is this? What the hell is this? He whipped your ass.
Okay.
So guess what's going to happen tomorrow, Skip?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I can't tell you. I used to do a radio show in Dallas, and I would be out there at camp, and I did an early morning radio show, and I'd get the fighters, whoever, I'd ask the guys who fought to come on. They'd come on and say, well, he did this, and he did that, and I kicked his you-know-what.
Right.
And then they sort of kissed and made up. You know,
a lot of times, Skip, we've had, hey, man, I'm tired of practice. Man, I'm tired of practice, too. What you want to do? Let's start it up.
Okay.
So guess what? Practice gonna get cut short, Skip, because coach gonna get tired of it, get tired of you fighting like we ain't getting anything done.
Okay, so to your first point, this came across as an irritable coach who realizes that in, what are we up to on John? Year 4, he's on a hotter and hotter seat because they need to show some progress.
Yes.
And he just loses it after the camp practice. He ended it and sent his players to the bus.
Right.
And I'm going to read these quotes one more time. That's not good for football. That's not good for anything. So that's the end of that practice session. So he takes credit for, I ended it. And he says they know better because everybody knows better. No, they don't.
No,
they don't. That's
Fight's been a part of practice.
And he knows that better than
How long
anybody.
they been playing football? 100+ years?
Yeah.
That's how long fight's been a part of practice.
And he concludes by saying it's just sickening. Really, it's just stupidity. I'm done with that. It's child's play to me. Child's play?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Nope. I mean, they're gonna let you get the best of them.
No,
it's already hot. I'm muggy. I'm tired. You shoved me for no reason.
I mean, you can argue it's sort of childish psychology that you just fight each other. But after a while, these are grown-ass men, as they say.
Exactly.
And after a while,
and John knows it's gonna get. The thing is that, Skip, you're gonna talk. You just hope, you know. And if I'm talking and I get the best of you, and I'm saying, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna keep talking. And you gonna get mad, you gonna push me, and I'm like, okay, don't worry about it. Because you do know we gonna play, you do know we gonna play you on Saturday.
Okay.
And what are we known for? We the best cutting team in football.
Yep.
I get your ass back Saturday.
Okay.
And I wanna hit the, come on, Sharp, stay off the knees. No. Remember that cheap-ish you did the other day in practice? I told y'all gonna get you back.
Okay, and I mentioned earlier that kid out of Clemson, second-year kid for the Eagles, in the joint practice, he's yelling at Cam, calling him, you're the check-down king. That's Cam Newton. He's a former MVP. You're calling him the check-down king in front of everybody?
Right.
So Cam, in his media session after the game, he got him back.
Yeah,
he said, I got to shoot. Called him glitter, right? Because he's over there cheerleading, right? Because he said, he's over there cheerleading. He wasn't playing. He was over there cheerleading, right? Okay.
But that's just the Skip. I mean, come on, Coach Gruden, you know how this works. It ain't no unique. I'm trying to figure. I went to 14 training camps. I've never had a training camp in which there wasn't at least one fight, possibly 3, 4. It is normally skipped between the offensive and defensive line. Those are the guys that get in the most because those are the guys that's always hitting. At least DBs, I mean, if you're running a route, you know, the guy, but you block sometimes, the guy gets the best of you, you like shoving, pushing and shoving. Yep. But it's normally the DBs. And especially, the running back come through and coach already said, okay, we ain't taking nobody to the ground, and then somebody do something cheap and forearm the running back to the ground. Yep. Okay, don't worry about it. That's going to start it up.
You just witnessed in those remarks a coach on the edge.
Yes.
A coach who knows what's coming this year. And I think it's a coach who has never bought 100% into Derek Carr, his quarterback. And he knows he's got to overcome that and go forward and show real progress this year.
Right? Well, they're going to have to skip. They're going to have to get better defensively. I mean, they got some nice players offensively. Skip.